Hey, what's up, Bronze Brigade? It is Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and in this video, I'm going to do something I've been thinking about doing for a while. I'm going to show you how the sausage is made on the top 5 not to buy comic book videos that I do by going through all the hot lists and giving you my reactions on everything I see from the list that I look at. So let's take a look at COVRPRICE first. So we're here over on COVRPRICE.com. This is their top 10 comics and runners-up for March 31st. So you have the top 10 here. I'll kind of start scrolling through. Number 1 is Spawn 361, Brett Booth, 2025 WonderCon wraparound cover, unsigned. It's limited to 650, it looks like. It's a cool Spawn cover. It's limited to WonderCon. You know, it's probably going to hold some value for a while. Top weekly sale, they have it at $119 for near mint plus. Probably not one I would choose, but I mean, I feel bad for people that are going to chase this cover down. Let's put it that way. This one, we're going to be talking about this one a bit, I think. All new Venom number 5. This is the Clayton Crane Mary Jane cover, who, you know, spoilers, she's the one that becomes Venom. I feel really hesitant about this. This is a strong candidate to end up on the don't buy. Like the spec for this character, people are not excited about this from what I've seen. Now you might be excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I've seen so much more negativity about this than positivity about this. It seems like speculators are just kind of leaping onto it. Gotta love Jenny Frissons. This is a third print foil for the Lucky Devils number 1. It's a 1 in 25. I love her stuff. Not going to bet against Jenny Frison. We've already talked about Last Boy number 1. This is the version 1 in 25 Adam Hughes cover. We've already talked about Green Lantern 21, the Mark Spears 1 in 25. The Invincible Returns is kind of still, this has been hot for a little while now. I think this is interesting. I mean, Invincible, I think, is going to hold value for some time now, but I don't know that it's going to be... If that show starts to slip off, which I really hope it doesn't, it's been great so far, but if it does, these books are going to plummet. I don't think it will, though. But season 4 is going to be an interesting test because they're going to do a lot of content that wasn't in the comics. There's going to be some original storylines. Where they've deviated from the comics, because I think, you know, Kirkman has a pretty strong hand in it, is kind of my impression. They've done pretty good. So I'm not really betting against Invincible right now. Certainly not going to bet against Invincible 1. I think along with like Walking Dead number 1, this is one of those kind of modern indie, and I mean like very modern since 2000, kind of darlings that I definitely would not bet against. Invincible 8, sorry, the ad number 8, Invincible 25. Yeah, this is doing Multipol. I don't know. This could be a candidate maybe for something I would talk about. I don't think Multipol is necessarily the right character to go after for Invincible stuff. I actually have this book, the Giant Size Special 158. This is the 11 by 17 comic book. I think I paid $20 for it at a local comic shop. It was actually when I was up at Chris's Comic Tropes signing for his Radiant Black issue he did. That's cool. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun little gimmick. I think they're now going to do the rest of the series in 11 by 17s. And they sold out on release day at that shop. New Avengers 33. I talked about this in my top 5 not to buy last week. This is the Gabriel Dell'Otto. So here's the runners up. Technically, these don't count unless I really have something I want to talk about here. But, you know, we got some Mark Spears. We got some stuff I talked about last week. Some Infamous Iron Man. Some Joe. That's pretty cool. Lobo, Spawn, Hush. Some DD. The Sister Imperator stuff definitely took off. And this is a really cool cover, by the way. This Batman and Superman cover. But yeah, let's look at Key Collector, right? Key Collector... a lot of my stuff tends to come from Key Collector. because I think there's some of the weaker spec in here. And to be fair, they're saying this is the trending list. I've never said that this is like they're saying you should buy these books, but there are people that look at this list and assume that's what it means. And that's kind of who these videos are directed at when I do the top 5 not to buy. Brand new day. Interesting book. I feel like this could end up on the list. The only thing I like about this book is it's the first full appearance of Mr. Negative. I think that's important because we could get Mr. Negative and he could be portrayed very cool on the screen. First White Rabbit in Batman: The Dark Knight #1. There's a rumor that the character will appear in Peacemaker season 2. Okay, that's a potential candidate. That seems like kind of a weaker one to me. Where's Vigilante at these days? $5 maybe for first appearance, something like that. Radioactive Man #1, sweet book. That's a really cool book. Oh, here's the free comic book day for the cameo of Mr. Negative. Yeah, I can see that happening. Bobby Morse's Mockingbird. I mean, that's a legit key. Very cool. This made the list last week. I don't know about this. Sojourner, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Is it Mullion? First appearance of that Green Lantern, Far Sector. That's a cool book. Oh my God, this is gonna end up on the list for sure. Adventures of Superman 500. There's so many copies of this out there. No. Yeah, it is the first appearance of the Superman, but no. I love Nightcrawler #1. That's cool. All those first solo title miniseries, kind of, those are cool. I like those. First Wolverine, yeah, it's solid. Hey, can't go wrong with the new Teen Titans. That's really cool. Can't go wrong with first meetup of Punisher and Daredevil. Might be the wrong time to buy the book, but it's a good book. And I don't think it's like insanely expensive right now. So it's probably about right. What's the speculation here? Halle Berry might reprise the role of Storm for Avengers Doomsday. I love this cover. I mean, it's a good book. That's, probably not the right time to buy it, but it's a good book. Oh, Gambit. Oh, he about to make a name for himself. Gambit coming back. We got Channing Tatum coming back for Doomsday. That's the rumor. Can't go wrong with first Gambit. Not X-Men Annual 14. For those laughing, X-Men Annual 14 is the first appearance of Gambit, full appearance. But I'm not going to argue that this book should be more expensive. It's the more, just like Hulk 181, it's the more iconic representation of the character that most people are familiar with being the first appearance. It's okay to have that book be more expensive. It's just, you got to recognize it's not necessarily the true first appearance. I think a lot of collectors want both, right? Shadowland suit for, come on, that's weak. So Muse, I'll keep this as spoiler free as possible. Don't know how this book's going to do after the last episode that dropped. Kind of have some doubts about that. Invincible 111, that's the death of Cecil. Spoilers. Adam's Eve leg amputated by robot. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Invincible stuff's going to heat up for a while, I feel like. Oh boy, yeah. This is a key that it went way too high during the pandemic, but it should be higher than it has been recently. So this doesn't surprise me too much. It overcorrected itself a little bit, I feel like. DC All-In Special, a book I'm lucky to have. It's no one knew this was going to be the introduction of those characters from the Absolute versions, which are, ultimately they're the same characters, but it's a fun book. And then we got all new Venom, again, the Clayton Crane. It's probably on the list. This video is most likely going to drop after the video comes out, though, like the next day or something, as bonus content, basically. Okay, so now we're at CBSI, which is, I don't know, CBSI stuff is pretty weird ever since it changed hands. All new Venom again, big surprise. Haha. Yep, there we go. Brand new day again. Yep, this cover has been expensive for a while. So CBSI, unlike Key Collector, CBSI is supposedly looking a little bit towards spec. I think is kind of the intent, basically, mixed with hot. So we already talked about New Avengers. Multiple high sales of 150. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that cover's had some popularity for a while. Washboard abs cover. This is the second print of Invincible 60 again. Invincible is hard to bet against right now. Man, this is very similar to the cover price list. Far Sector, we got Green Lantern, the New Comic Book Day. I guess it's kind of similar to both lists. There's nothing. This is the Robins too is the only kind of outlier here that we haven't seen. Oh, I guess Invincible 60 we haven't seen yet. Interesting. The last one I'm going to look at. Now, this is a little bit cheating. I actually messaged Ben over at House of Stein, and he does the top 10. Usually, I think Brian McClay is the co-host with those shows on YouTube. And I was like, hey, man, is there a way to like go back and look at your list except for watching the video, which is kind of hard to do for what I'm trying to do? And he talked about posting these. He posted up a few of them. This one's a couple of weeks old. This was March 22nd. So I'm going to start showing these, and hopefully he's able to go through here and update the new one here. It is only Saturday, so maybe he's going to update it later this weekend when I'm recording this. Late Saturday for that matter. So we got, this was the new Friendly Neighborhoods Spider-Man 1 in 25 AF-15 homage. This came out a while ago, so it was hot a little while ago. I don't know about this book. I don't know. There's so many AF-15 homages. It's kind of a different version of the character. Interesting. Last Boy, we definitely saw that. Invincible 61, Conquest. I mean, timing is everything on this. This is a couple weeks old. Made sense for it to be on that list. Yeah, this J. Scott Campbell web store, and he talks about maybe all of them or something like that. There's some interesting ones. This Luna Snow one's interesting. The Psylocke one was pretty interesting too. And then there's a Squirrel Girl too. Those are good books. Marvel Knights variant makes sense why it's hot. I don't particularly love, like, this is kind of like a turnaround or design variant-esque kind of cover, I guess. I don't really like I love the bottom picture of Magic here is great. These are good, like, head sketches, but not a huge fan of the composition of that style of cover. But Rivals, I don't know if Rivals fans are coming in to buy a comic like this. There's maybe a lot of fans of the comic that are also fans of Rivals. I could see that. Kind of makes me wonder. AOC and the Freshman Force issue 1. Yep, political, very timely. Pardon the yawn again. It's very late on a Saturday. It's probably gonna stay in the video. There we go. Invincible returns at number 7. Frizen doing Magic. Can't go wrong there. Magic's so hot right now. The Assorted Crisis Events issue 1, Del Mundo 1 in 25. It must be an indie that I'm sorry, I don't know this issue. Yeah, it's from Image. Yeah, it's interesting. I like the cover. This reminds me of Calvin and Hobbes. So I'm curious. If it's a good story. It's a cool cover. And then there's a Ben Harvey Virgin 150 Psylocke. Definitely, this is Rivals inspired, I think, because it definitely has kind of the Rivals look to it. That's pretty cool. I don't hate any of those. Again, they're kind of older, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at with these. I don't know if that was enjoyable. I can keep doing these. You're really just getting my gut reaction. I'm probably going to go back through here and pick the 5 as I go through the sites again and look at the list. I had not looked at any of these previously. I was kind of going in, blind and just checking it out and seeing what I think. And that's kind of my unfiltered opinion on the books. It always, I guess, cracks me up or surprises me a little bit what ends up on these lists, and that's another part of the reason why I make the top 5 videos. So if this was interesting, let me know. Do want to shout out my channel members. Thank you so much for your support and everything that you do for me every month by supporting the channel. It really means a lot. Thanks for all the views, and everybody's been kind of watching the videos more often. I really appreciate that. I just hit 50,000 hours of watch time on YouTube, which is really puts things in perspective. So thank you so much for that, everybody. Catch you in the next one. Until then, I just want to remind you, as always, hey, read comics every day.